Hi guys, and welcome to this upload for you guys today. 26 of you have hit that subscribe button and keep on joining this wrestling fan open mic night family. It's night time somewhere in the world. Give me a break, guys, because obviously yesterday I signed up for my new job. I literally have my first shift this very evening. I cannot wait to get started in my new job. I really can't wait. I'm contracted for 30 hours minimum, which is a bonus in itself because I'm so used to working when I've been working 0-hour contracts. And I tell you one thing, it feels weird saying 30 hours minimum a week. But like I said to you guys on my previous uploads, that I will find time for you guys. Don't get me wrong, I'm not tarnishing you aside. I've just got to literally work around my work schedule. I've got my schedule through, so obviously I'm doing Raw today. By looks of it, my thoughts and opinions towards AEW Dynamite will go out the same time, I think, because I'm off Thursday. The catch is that I can't give you my thoughts and opinions on SmackDown. I can't give you my thoughts and opinions on Worlds Collide, but I possibly can give you all that on one upload with my thoughts towards Money in the Bank. Yes, by looks of it, I am off Sunday as it stands, but anything can change in the industry that I work in. So, hopefully I can give you a triple threat upload. Yeah, I know. A long video. I do apologise, but that's what it looks like it's going to be the format this week. I don't know about next week. I don't know if I can give you my thoughts and opinions like I'm doing now on Raw. I can't give you I'll probably give you my thoughts and opinions towards like the Raw or Dynamite or SmackDown. There's no pay-per-views next week, which is a bonus. But that's what I mean. It's week to week. It's not going to be like the same nights, I don't think. So if it's the same format, okay, fair enough. But I just want to say to you guys, I do apologise about that, but at the end of the day, I've got to pay the bills. So, hope you understand that predicament I'm in. So, like I was saying, 26 of you now have subscribed, and I can't thank you enough for the love you are showing me. I sound generic as like every YouTuber, but seriously, I'm blown away. You know, and as it's like Tuesday morning, I just want to say this. This is the only time I technically caught up with Raw. I didn't watch it last night, obviously, because I was just had a long day yesterday, a lot of ups and downs. You know, at least one thing, there's better ups coming soon to myself, and I'm glad about that, because obviously I was happy that I went for signing up for my new job, like doing all the inductions and so on. Got a few online training to do as well, which I'm looking forward to going through today. Then obviously I got my first shift from 5 o'clock in the evening till close, which is a bonus. So, end of the day, I want to say this. To say we're a stone throw away from WWE's Money in the Bank 2025, Raw was alright. Don't get me wrong. It's not the best in the world. Hence the pun. But it was literally... We kicked off the show with CM Punk. Okay, he speaks. He's the shadow of himself. He's too face. Very face. Baby face. And I don't like it. It doesn't suit him. Because of the way he's been. You know? Or a tweener. If you want to class it, push it in the boundaries of that. And I feel like, okay. Right? But I'm literally getting so confused with certain aspects. The way like CM Punk is and all that lot. Then you have the likes, you're doing sort of things that doesn't make sense. shouldn't make sense, but it makes sense in the WWE world. You know, and that's just me being honest with you. You know, end of the day, I've always been honest to you guys. And when I look at the way, it's just weird because CM Punk just talks about his plans and he's going to be, could he be the third Money in the Bank winner? Third time in his career. Will he be challenging the likes of Jey Uso, or what we call it, John Cena? You know, the usual spiel that we've heard from him for weeks. And I'm like, CM Punk, yeah, fair enough, you've not talked in a while, but my God, I miss the heel CM Punk. I really do. You know, seeing him the way he is too baby-fied. Too much of a baby face, in fact. It's too cringy. And the one thing that what I loved, WWE, you moan about people swearing. You had sections of the crowd chanting, "We want truth." You change the audio. You know? You could hear it just about as it starts, and then all of a sudden it starts, "Hey!" I'm like, really? What has that guy done wrong for your company? Seriously, there's got to be more to it. It's like with The Miz and that lot. Has he done with WWE? You know, is this the start of people maybe walking out? It feels like he's done with WWE. I'm not over-exaggerating just about with the recent stuff that's been going off. You know, it's bad enough you've released R-Truth. Yeah, I've already done a video on it, but I want to actually say that, yeah, fair enough, he's 53. You could have at least kept him to elevate a new star. You know, if you're going a comedic route, you need him to boost that, if you know what I mean. Just so you know, it's not a brand deal, by the way. It's an empty bottle with water in it. Because I can't be asked to get a cup. But anyway, like I was saying, that the Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins interrupted him. Bronson Reed up, big Bronson Reed. You know. But ironically, these guys have not those two, but I mean the whole faction with Paul Heyman and that lot. I literally thought they haven't got a theme music or a name yet. They've not got a name yet. They've not got a theme music yet. What? God, you are getting lazy, WWE. How are you meant to elevate a stable when you don't have a theme music or a name? That's wrestling etiquette by now. You should have done it by now. That's what literally makes no sense. But, and then you have the likes of Sami Zayn, right? You're planting the seeds towards an actual showdown between him and as the champion. God, the same old dribbling shit. But I just want to say this, right? When CM Punk literally quoted and hinted Summer of Punk, right? Why? You've already done that in Ring of Honor. You've done that years ago in WWE, if I recall, when you was champion in 2011. You know, it's annoying as freaking hell that you bring in reference to that. You know? But then, okay, fair enough, you did what you did. Then all of a sudden, you've got Stephen Vaquer making an in-ring debut for the Money in the Bank qualifier match between Liv Morgan, Nile, is it Ivy Nile, sorry, and Liv Morgan. Right? it was an alright match, don't get me wrong. But the one thing that I really am getting kind of frustrated about this, even though it's a Money Bank qualifier, please don't push Stephanie Vaquer to the moon already. I feel like it would have been nice if you had Ivy Nile win that. That's just me being honest. I literally, it would have been nice if she had it. You know, and because Stephanie Vaquer, I feel like she's, don't get me wrong, she's good, but develop a bit of a story with her. No pun intended, like with Cody Rhodes and that. I do not think that. But at least develop more with her. Have her chance maybe down the line, you know, towards being in the Money Bank like next year if it's still around. Obviously, I've given you my thoughts and opinions about with Triple H not liking the Money in the Bank match stipulation. Please check that out. Please do. It's available here on YouTube. But I would have literally had Ivy Nile win that, you know. Don't get me wrong, it was a decent triple threat match. It meant something, but you've got Liv Morgan in there. Fair enough, she's already technically got tag team titles. She don't need this. In a matter of speaking, she don't need this. She's already champion. You know, we've already seen that already with the mid-card titles as such. I'm glad they're doing that sort of thing with the women's tag team titles. Even though it literally makes no sense whatsoever having those titles if you're not going to defend them. They're not fashion accessories. I keep stressing this and it's annoying the hell out of me. You know. Hopefully soon that WWE will latch on to that. I'm hoping. You know, I'm not when I'm going to be grey and old. I'm already 42. I'm already losing my hair. Definitely not many years from now. But when I look at this match, like I've said, it's a decent match. But Ivy Nile needs that element. You've just put Stephanie Vaquer to the main roster. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. You're putting her to the main roster. I've already given my thoughts and opinions how I'm saying the women's division is a mess. This is why I feel like technically it's added to the mess. Now you're literally sort of teasing in down the line probably Stephanie Vaquer versus Rhea Ripley. Don't get me wrong. That'll be golden. But don't rush it. Build a backstory. But don't rush it. I keep saying don't rush stuff. And I feel like Stephanie Vaquer shouldn't have had this win. You know, I know she's just gone to the main roster. Yes, it may damage them if they don't get their first win. But I feel like putting them in this sort of stipulation, this sort of way it's been done, I feel like you shouldn't have done that. You know, gave her the win on this one, let alone, you know, it's just one of those things, guys. And I'm literally thinking, okay, you're gonna rush Stephanie Vaquer when you've got roster members that deserve it more than Stephanie at the moment because of how much you're badly booking them. But it is what it is. Then you had the likes of War Raiders versus Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough. You literally you had like sort of it is what it is, I guess. You had Judgment Day the win with the Roxanne Perez situation. She helped Judgment Day win. Now you're throwing the ball in their court. This is where the people thought, okay, fair enough. I'm just saying this. I'm glad you are not writing Dirty Dom as Dirty Dom. Dominic Mysterio I'm on about, if anyone was unsure. I'm glad you're not writing him as a cheat again. I'm glad you're not. It seems like you're writing Roxanne Perez after the random spice up between Finn, only not that long ago. You've literally turned a curveball, and looks like you got technically Finn Balor now having a crush on the likes of Roxanne Perez out of the blue. Sometimes I wonder where you get these sort of ideas. It's just okay. Then we literally had a backstage statement with Becky Lynch, right? I love the fact that you put tense music over the top, you know, to give that sort of backstage sort of thing. But I literally feel when I look at this and I'm thinking, you are literally doing this backstage. You're doing this backstage. I wouldn't mind if it was like in a boiler room or something more grittier. Not with lights all around her. This is not me nitpicking, honest. I'm just saying. Or graveyard. Or something that you can give us to give a different element to the way Becky is and what she stands for. That would have been more entity to it. Then you had Lyra come out, do a promo calling her from backstage, come out to her face to face. Let's have a fight right now. And I'm like, oh my god. There was no point in that. It was unnecessary. Right? It's unnecessary to have that, to fill in the void, right? You've literally been building up this match for a few weeks, don't get me wrong, but you're doing the same shit. This is where it gets lazy. You know, like I said, give that different entity to give that different entity towards what you could do. That's what I mean, is just give it that. That's not a bleep machine, by the way, if my mic's picking up that someone's getting a delivery. But what I'm saying to you guys is, that what was the point of doing the backstage segment with Becky when you calling her out anyway? I'm like, you know what would have been cool? I know it sounds daft. Like I mentioned, the way... That's why it's literally... I swear I'm losing my hair because of this. But what I'm mainly saying is, to everyone that is watching this, if you're doing the way I suggest to do for Becky, then later on in the show, maybe something from Lyra like that. You know, it gives you that independent feel, granted. But it's great content. At least one thing you'd be like, okay, they've took this a bit more serious. You know, you don't need to replicate everything that you've done already in the ring. It's not needed. You know? It's getting repetitive. Don't get me wrong, it's giving prestige, you might want to say, prestige to the women's IC title. But what are you doing with your main title? With the main women's title? You know? What are you doing with that? This seems like the women's IC title is getting more traction than you would think. You know, it's bad enough you're not using the tag team titles, but you end up doing this. Then we had the tag team match between main event Jey Uso. Yeah, he's in a tag team, guys. What's the point of putting him as a singles wrestler if you're going to put him with a tag team? Like I said with Jimmy on SmackDown, what's the point of doing that? You're doing a carbon copy of what you're doing already. It's being lazy. You know? You had the likes of main event Jey Uso with Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed. Not Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, sorry. Them making a lot of noise outside. I do apologise if it's picking up. And Braun Breaker. Right? I want to point this out. It was an okay squash match. To the point where Seth Rollins interferes and makes it a disqualification. So you're making Jey Uso and Sami Zayn look strong. What the hell are you doing? This is where I kind of started getting annoyed. More than the women's IC title. If you are literally doing interference for disqualifications, how are you going to make your tag team look? Your tag team you've just put together randomly in this stable, right? Seth Rollins does not need to interfere. The tag team does not need to interfere every single fucking week. Right? Could have elevated your tag team division. You could literally have done this perfectly, but you haven't. There's no point in doing the... If you've debuted these two as a tag team, make them look strong. Not get Seth involved. You know? I wouldn't mind it being a squash match because it's got that entity of old school nostalgia for me. You know? We've not seen two big guys in a long while as a tag team. This is why I say your tag team division's in a mess, because you don't know what you're doing. If you're going to make... Right? I'll bring reference to the Steiner brothers, because obviously Bronson Reed's Rick Steiner's lad. They were a strong tag team. They didn't need to do all this crap. If you are elevating these as monster heels, let them do it by themselves. We had Alpha and Seeker. They were hardly used at all. They could have been technically in this predicament, you know, what you've got going off right now. Authors of Pain, when they were actually for the company, I know they're no longer around, but yeah, fair enough. But if you misused them, you didn't know how to use them, it's the same thing with the way you're doing it right now. If you want to make these guys look dominant to dominate the tag team division, let them do it themselves. Because if you're just going to make a disqualification match, this just looks stupid. You know, at least have them be dominant in the tag team division, then take the titles away from, like, New Day, prime example. Do I have to say any more? Right. Another dominant big tag team. Typhoon and Earthquake. The Natural Disasters. Legion of Doom. You know? Use the energy what you have built up as them as monster heels. As a heels faction. Don't get me wrong. But keep in mind, if you keep doing these disqualification matches, it gets boring. Because it's not doing anything for your tag team that you are building up as monster heels. That's just me. That's just me. My own personal preference. You know? Don't get me wrong. These two could be potential as a good tag team if they're not doing the shit like this. You know? It's bad enough you're already putting your world champion, yes, your world champion, in a tag team match And yet, wait a minute. With all the fiasco I forgot to mention earlier on, with Gunther. Where's Gunther all of a suddenly disappeared to? You know? It just proves how much people are bad at education, to be honest. And then Kairi Sane versus Raquel Rodriguez. Right? Seriously? You could have easily put a women's tag team match there. But you have the likes of Io Shirai. That's pretty much coming out. With her coming out, it literally made no sense. You know? And then a lot of people were chanting, we want truth. You know? Proves how much fans love him. I did as well. You know? Oh, fuck. You frustrate me. Then you had the main... I think this was the main event. Yes, it bloody well was. Alright? You had the likes of CM Punk versus AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano. Right? You had the likes of Seth attacking CM Punk, which kinda but that was after the match, don't get me wrong. But what are you doing with AJ Styles? What you done to him? That was okay, a decent match, don't get me wrong. It was AJ Styles' birthday. Everyone thought, okay, fair enough, he may actually win. But he didn't win. You know? What's with the amount? I will literally pull my hair out if I'll... Not literally, don't worry, guys. I'll keep it G. Not as a chavvy G. But... why are you pushing this guy to the sky? The weird thing is... right? The massive weird thing is... you got... Chad Gable now doing WWE. We know it's Chad Gable under that mask. You making us look... you trying to make WWE fans look stupid and don't know. Right? But here's one thing that really, really annoys me. You literally have put in Chad Gable on Worlds Collide. You could have done Chad Gable in this match. Then, by the looks of it, you were building towards El Grande Americano, which is named after a coffee from Starbucks. I'm surprised he hasn't got a sponsorship deal yet. Or WWE hasn't got a sponsorship deal with Starbucks yet. That he's on literally not booked for Worlds Collide. This is what you go home show is meant to be. Really. You are building up a PLE. Right? You've got Saturday to reclaim yourself. I mean, SmackDown, you got to reclaim yourself. No. Don't get me wrong. Right? It's literally... I'm trying to think of nice words to say. Is this the best you can come up with? You know what this reminds me of? when I see the way Raw is at the moment. It reminds me of WWF superstars. That's what it reminds me of. Not the style I grew up with when they started to loot. It just felt like a highlight show. Be honest with you. You know, as well. Boy, it reminds me of WWF superstars back in the day. Not when it first started, when it was Superstars of Wrestling, when it started to fade away. You know, that turning point where, because Raw overshadowed it. I think it was 93 time, I would say, on that one. It just felt like, even though that was meant to be a Raw, that's meant to be a Raw. Have we gone down that path? With a Raw that's been running for numerous of years. End of the day, guys, they're not going to listen to us. The only time they'll listen to us is if we stop buying into this product. But that's just my thoughts anyway, guys. Bit disheartened over this. I really am. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys soon for another upload for you guys right here on this very platform. Until next time, guys, catch you guys later.